Pull up a chair for a minute. Can I ask you something? Have you ever been so focused on something that you looked up, saw the time, and realized you never ate lunch? Not because you were trying to, you simply didn't notice. Or maybe you've had one of those moments where someone asks, "Are you okay?" And your first thought is, "I think so." Until suddenly you realize you're exhausted or overwhelmed or running on empty. It's almost as if your body knew something long before you did. If that sounds familiar, today's visit is for you. Welcome to Wisdom from the Porch with GP. I learned a word recently that explained years of confusion. Interoception. Now don't let the word scare you. The idea is actually very simple. Interoception is your body's way of letting you know what's happening inside. Hungry, thirsty, tired, too hot, too cold, stressed, calm. It's like an ongoing conversation between your brain and your body. For many people, that conversation is happening all day long, quietly, reliably. They notice they're getting hungry before they're starving. They notice they're getting tired before they're exhausted. They notice stress before it spills over. But for many neurodivergent people, that conversation can be much quieter. Sometimes the message arrives late. Sometimes it barely whispers at all, which means the first sign that you're hungry isn't hunger, it's shaking. The first sign that you're overwhelmed isn't tension, it's tears. The first sign that you're tired isn't fatigue, it's complete shutdown. And if you've ever wondered, why does everything seem to hit me all at once? This might be part of the answer. I don't know about you, but that realization brought me a surprising amount of relief. Not because it solved a problem, but because it gave the problem a name. Sometimes understanding doesn't change the experience immediately, but it changes the story we tell ourselves about it. Instead of, "What's wrong with me?" the question becomes, "What didn't I notice?" That's a much kinder question. Here's something I've been learning. Our bodies are usually talking to us. The challenge isn't that they're silent. It's that we've never been taught how to listen to it, especially if we've spent years pushing through, ignoring fatigue, working through lunch, telling ourselves, "I'll eat later, I'll rest later, I'll deal with it later." Eventually, later becomes our normal. Until one day, our bodies decide they don't want to whisper anymore. They raise their voices. That's usually the moment we finally pay attention. The encouraging part? This is something we can practice. Not perfectly, just consistently. Maybe once in the morning, once around lunch, once in the evening. Pause for 30 seconds. Ask yourself 4 simple questions. Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Am I carrying tension anywhere? That's it. No grades, no guilt. You're not trying to become an expert. You're simply rebuilding a conversation that may have been hard to hear for a long time. Sometimes the smallest questions lead to the biggest changes. Before we finish today, set 2 reminders on your phone. Not reminders to do something, reminders to notice something. When they go off, don't immediately look at your notifications. Look at yourself. Ask, what is my body trying to tell me right now? You may be surprised by how much it's been saying all along. Before I go, this is Heard You. This week's Heard You comes from Gentlemanly Jerry from the episode titled 3 Years to Try Medication. Jerry wrote, "This concise podcast was true, simple, effective, and I think will be helpful in destigmatizing taking medication for some folks. Quote unquote, will this help me live a little more like myself?" This is a brilliant way to frame it. And along with pointing out the context of how the medications are effective for some, not effective for others, and just part of the story for many, I think this will really click for people. Good podcast as always, Eric. Jerry, thank you for taking the time to write that. The sentence that stayed with me was the one you repeated. Will this help me live a little more like myself? I think that's one of the healthiest questions we can ask, not just about medication, but about almost every decision we make. Thank you for reminding us that the goal isn't becoming someone different. It's removing whatever gets in the way of becoming more fully ourselves. And thank you for being a part of this community. Today's visit is supported by Cloud Microphones, built for voices that have something worth saying. If something from today's visit resonated with you, or if one of our past conversations has stayed with you, I'd love to hear about it. Your story may become part of a future Heard You. On our next visit, we're going to unpack one of the shortest sentences that has ended far too many conversations. That's just your ADHD talking. Sometimes it's meant to explain. Sometimes it's used to dismiss. And knowing the difference can change everything. Until next time, take care of yourself. I'll save you a chair.